Hello there, friendos. Many of you have probably been noticing that I got into a little bit of a spat with Offworld Industries, the publisher of the upcoming Starship Troopers Extermination, which is being created by the same devs who made the game Squad, a very interesting and ridiculously hardcore tactical shooter which I would like to love the idea of, and I'm sure I would if I had the time to actually put into a game like that. See, I remember the good old days when I was playing Operation Flashpoint and loving the hell out of it. In my opinion, Operation Flashpoint was the only proper game. I'm not a fan of the Armor series for some reason, but the entire idea of like tactical hardcore military shooters like that appealed to me tremendously. But there's no way in hell I'm gonna have time to actually play them enough to get decent at them these days. But side point aside, Offworld Industries decided to launch a takedown, a copyright strike, a straight-up takedown, against my video covering the announcement of the game. And I asked for a bunch of you guys to help me try and reach out to them and get their attention on the matter. Thank you very much for your help, by the way. And I did eventually manage to get in contact with a representative at Offworld Industries. We had a bit of back and forth there. Part of the problem here is, okay, so I'm making this video primarily just to kind of settle the ground, as I fully believe this to have been some form of, well, ass-backwards misunderstanding, and certainly nothing motivated by malice as far as I can tell. I eventually got a hold of the guy, and a little bit of back and forth followed, and he asked me to send the video to him for review. Now, with a copyright takedown like this, it's not a copyright claim, it's a strike. That immediately removes the video. In fact, YouTube is legally obligated to immediately remove the video, so obviously I didn't have it anymore, nor could I get a hold of it. It was about a month old at the point, and I'm not going to keep that sitting around on my hard drive forever either. So I couldn't give it to him, which I also raised the point, like, okay, I don't have it, YouTube doesn't have it, and you really should be checking these things out before you launch takedown requests, as this is fairly serious. If it was just a copyright claim, I probably would have just shrugged and moved on with my day, but 3 strikes and the channel goes poof, so fairly serious matter there. This also pretty much clued me in on the fact that they probably didn't understand what was happening. So, as far as I get it, they were having a closed alpha, beta kind of style thing testing out the game, and they made it a requirement to join that you were not allowed to stream or record any gameplay footage, which is fair enough. The game is in very early development, and by a developer who hasn't really made these kinds of games before. And they're also being, well, rather experimentative and innovative too, which is why I'm very excited about the game. The idea of a horde mode style shooter with map-based objectives that changed, like arachnid hordes for example, and 12 players on a team, is very appealing, and it is a long-awaited and desperately required piece of innovation into the horde shooter survival-y franchise style thing, which has basically been doing the 4-man team since Left 4 Dead, and the only reason they're doing it is, well, because Left 4 Dead did it. That's about it. So I welcome that tremendously, but they had then probably gotten a bit too zealous in trying to take down any leaked footage, and had somehow managed to mistake their own trailer footage for leaked gameplay, which it's not a great mistake to make, especially as my video was of course released long before they actually opened this testing, so a quick check of the date would have been able to fix this misunderstanding immediately, but, you know, they're probably launching dozens of these things, 10 at a time, etc., and they were just going through, checking the first 3-4 seconds, going like, okay, you know, that's alpha footage, stamp, send off to YouTube. Some underpaid intern or whatever did this, or somebody literally in an enormous rush right before Christmas and the holidays and everything like that. Understandable, I get it. So I don't hold any sort of malice towards these guys, and since it's all been resolved amicably now, as soon as I got to actually send in the proper counter request, because at first I tried to talk to them, and they asked me for a review, etc., but I think I think about 48 hours, like 2 days or so, after I sent in the official counter notification, they took back the strikes. In all due likelihood, you know, whoever was responsible for this got the objection sent in, then got access to the video so they could look at, sent it off to their boss, who immediately went like, no, this is obviously fair use, take it back. Fantastic. That's the system as it should work. Again, Off-World Industries, I'd recommend sending people emails before you send out striker requests, mind you, as that is a fairly, it's a pretty aggressive move. And, by the way, to the guy answering my emails to, I do apologize. I know I was rather strident with you, but in these cases where a legal case could potentially be in the books, you gotta be fairly determined to make sure that it is clear to anyone watching after the fact that you are sure you are in the right, but still, sorry. I can be a bit brusque at times, especially in these circumstances, and I'm looking forward to covering the game, honestly. Like, I genuinely look forward to Starship Troopers Extermination. Everyone knows I am a massive Starship Troopers fan and think it is a criminally underutilized franchise, particularly in this kind of genre. I mean, and if you got 12 people on your team too, you gotta have big hordes, my dudes. Massive numbers of arachnids, especially if you've got the ability to build walls and turrets, which is another thing the game has apparently got in store for us. So, I want everybody who, saw my various appeals to help me get in contact with them. Again, thank you very much, but I don't think this was any, malicious act, so I wouldn't want anybody to hold this against them just because of what was, in all due likelihood, almost certainly an honest-to-God mistake done right before the holidays, which isn't an excuse in and of themselves, you know. You shouldn't go off on holiday and then set the bots or interns to start striking people, but mistakes happen, and I believe it was a mistake, so consider that my public service announcement and the official wrapping up of this little piece of inter-YouTube drama, blah 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 blahs. I didn't want to just leave it hanging there because, again, you know, you want to sort these things out in an amicable fashion and make sure that nobody gets the mistaken impression, particularly when it is a game that I actually, again, do look forward to. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.